Hey guys! So today we're going to be reading Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, chapter 43. If you haven't seen chapter 42 yet, I'll link it in the description down below, or you could check out the playlist that I set up on my channel. So yeah, let's get started. Chapter 43. Minli took one step into the walled courtyard and then stopped. Countless red threads covered the ground like intricate lace. Interwoven with the red strings were thousands and thousands of small clay figures, each no longer than her finger. Like a spider, in the exact center sat the Old Man of the Moon. He sat cross-legged with a giant book on his lap. His head was bowed over two clay figures in his hand, so that the most that Minli saw of him was the top of his head. But she could see his delicate, wrinkled hands skillfully tying the figures in his lap together with a red thread. A blue silk bag full of red strings lay open beside him, and Minli felt a shock run through her as she saw it. She had seen that bag before. Deep blue silk, silver embroidered. It was a bag the Buffalo Boy's friend had been carrying that starry night. She's the goddess of weaving, Minli realized. She spins the red thread for the Old Man of the Moon. I knew there was something different about her. No wonder she knew how to find the king. The old man reached beside him for his walking stick, a bent, twisted wood stick, and taped it to the ground. Silently, the clay figures floated from his hand, drifted in the air, and settled to the ground at the opposite ends of the courtyard. The old man's thread still connected them, and the red line wove itself among the other strands surrounding him. As Minli stared, the old man looked at her. The silver hair of his beard seemed to flow like a glowing waterfall, and disappeared into the folds of his robes. His dark eyes matched the blackness of the night. "Ah," the old man said, "it's you." Minli nodded and bowed deeply. She would have kneeled to the ground, but she was afraid of disrupting the clay figures standing on the ground at her feet. "Well, come here then," the old man said impatiently, and he tapped his stick on the ground again. And with the sound like a flapping of a bird's wing, the clay figures moved, clearing a path for Minli. I know you have questions for me," the old man said. "Every 99 years someone comes here with their questions, but I will answer only one. So choose your question carefully." "One question?" Minli almost stopped walking in shock. If she was only allowed to ask one question, she could not ask Dragon's question for him, unless she did not ask her own. Minli felt like a fish gasping for air. What was she gonna do? The memories of her hard work in the rice fields, her father's careworn hands, and plain rice in the dinner bowls, and Ma's sighs washed upon her like the splashes of water from the lake. She had to change her fortune. She must ask how to do that. But when Minli thought about Dragon, waiting for her patiently, it was as if she had been struck. Like the seeds falling from Wukang's tree, images of the dragons rained upon her. Their laughter as they passed the monkeys, his awkward struggles walking in the woods, his echoing roar as he flung the green tiger into the air, the kind hand he put on her shoulder when she cried, and the hopeful look in his eyes as she left. "Dragon is my friend," Minli said to herself. "What should I do?" Minli's thoughts bubbled faster and faster like boiling rice. Every step she took seemed to throb, and Minli wasn't sure if the pounding was her heart or Wukang's axe in the distance. As she passed the clay statues, she thought she could see figures of the Goldfish Band, the Buffalo Boy, the King, and Da'afu silently watching her. Minli's feet seemed to ignore her pleas of slowness, like the kite being pulled in. She was being drawn toward the Old Man of the Moon without delay. Before she could decide whose question to ask, Minli found herself facing him. The Old Man of the Moon looked at her expectantly, his black eyes unreadable as the night sky. Minli looked down into the open book on his lap. She recognized one page. She recognized the open page as the king's borrowed line. The smoothed out folds and the holes she had made in it when she had turned it into a kite were still there. Yet now the paper was invisibly fastened in the book, with only a thin line, like a scar, showing it had never been removed. And the words had changed again. There was a single line of words running down the entire page. As she looked, Minley realized for the first time she could read the words. As she looked, Minley realized for the first time she could read the words, or really the word. For the line was only made of one word, written over and over again, and that was the word thankfulness. And suddenly, like the light when the clouds move away from the moon, Minley knew clearly what question to ask. "There is a dragon waiting at the bridge," she said. "Why can he not fly?" And that was the question she asked. That was the end of chapter 43. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Give this video a like and subscribe down below. And stay tuned for chapter 44. Bye!